the Union and on address from the Houses of the Parliament of Canada to admit Rupert's Land and the Northwest Territory, or either of them, into the Union on such terms and conditions in each case as are in the addresses expressed and as the King thinks fit to approve, subject to the provisions of this Act, and the provisions of any order in council in that behalf shall have effect as if they had been enacted by the Parliament of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Footnote 76.
All territories are part of Canada already.
Ok, bon, c'est ça. On va porter à prendre photo dans les 5 prochaines minutes.
Article 5, we talk about Nunavut.
Well, they didn't mention Nunavut here.
Footnote 6, section 5, it talks about that. Remember?
Oh,
Article 5, page 2.
Yeah. Canada now consists of 10 provinces.
But without Nunavut. So we said yes without Lake Reserve.
Yeah.
Article 5. So I think we should say yes with reserve here too.
Okay.
I don't know.
with reserve.
What number was it? 146?
Yes.
146, yes.
Yes with reserve?
Yes.
147. Dans le cas de l'admission de Terre-Neuve, de l'île du Prince-Édouard ou de l'une ou l'autre de ses colonies, chacune aura droit d'être représentée par 4 membres dans le Sénat du Canada et nonobstant toute disposition contraire énoncée dans la présente loi. Dans le cadre de l'admission de Terre-Neuve, le nombre normal des sénateurs sera de 76 et son admission de 82. Mais lorsque l'île du Prince-Édouard sera admise, elle sera censée comprise dans la troisième des trois divisions en laquelle le Canada est relativement à la composition du Sénat partagée par la présente loi. En conséquence, après l'admission de l'île du Prince-Édouard, que Terre-Neuve soit admise ou non, la représentation de la Nouvelle-Écosse et du Nouveau-Brunswick dans le Sénat, au fur et à mesure que les sièges deviendront vacants, sera réduite de 12 à 10 respectivement. La représentation de chacune de ces provinces ne sera jamais augmentée au-delà de 10 membres, sauf sous l'autorité des dispositions de la présente loi relative à la nomination de 3 ou 6 sénateurs supplémentaires en conséquence d'un ordre du roi.
As to representation of Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island in Senate, 147. In case of the admission of Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island, or either of them, each shall be entitled to a representation in the Senate of Canada of 4 members, and notwithstanding anything in this act, in case of the admission of Newfoundland, the normal number of senators shall be 76, and the maximum number shall be 82. But Prince Edward Island, when admitted, shall be deemed as to be comprised in the third of the 3 divisions into which Canada is, in relation to the Constitution of the Senate, divided by this Act, and accordingly, after the admission of Prince Edward Island, whether Newfoundland is admitted or not, the representation of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick in the Senate shall, as vacancies occur, be reduced from 12 to 10 members respectively, and the representations of each of those provinces shall not be increased at any time beyond 10, except under the provision of this Act for the appointment of 3 or 6 additional senators under the direction of the King. Footnote 77.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know, but 77 spent, so.
Yeah.
I can't even find those
It's already
footnotes.
put in 21 and they got footnotes for those two, and, you know, 21, 22, 26, yeah, 27, 28, this is all about the Senate. We already went through before. Okay, and we already said, what, Loretta didn't write yes or no on those to me, but,
And I don't have them.
you don't have those either?
Well, I don't, 'cause
Maureen, do you, or, Angèle, t'as-tu nos réponses pour 21, 22,
Enacted.
26 puis 27,
And the
Thank
annexed.
you.
22.
so 21, 22,
So it all predates
what do we got for that? You got that?
1982, the last act being 1975.
22.
That's on
we
page
said
5.
No.
21's on page 5 on ours.
21, we said yes.
Okay. And what about 22?
Number 30,
Yeah, they'll have to accept it with
30, and just 30 on this one?
We said no.
Well, we're not reading any.
Oh, we said
Said
no?
no, because it's
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
the pages, but there's many modification. So they'll have to look at everything. This, I
Oh,
don't
for
think so.
senators,
So it's
yeah,
gonna be
for
accepted
senators.
with reserve.
because of Article 22.
So that's why I suggested to them, we accept the charter as a total, except
said no
anything
to
that
Article
goes with infraction of it.
Okay,
26
but
and
then there's a
27,
new-
we said yes,
So-
yes, and
So
28.
just
we
read
said
this
yes.
part here.
Yes.
So
And
we
then
should
this
say
part
yes
here.
with reserve, because
And then
there
we
is
go
one
over
choice.
here.
Yes,
And we're not reading.
Yeah, okay,
No.
yes with reserve? Is everybody
Yes,
happy with that?
reserve.
yeah,
Yeah,
You
okay.
concur?
Denise?
And they're gonna have to
So
say
that-
that.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes,
we,
we,
yes with reserve.
Anything contrary to
Ouais, tu peux
1867.
Okay.
done, fini.
No, page 53. Now is,
Oh, no, I meant we're done now.
okay. Thank you for 1867. Alright, so. Loi constitutionnelle de 1982 sur réserve de la note de page 80, partie 1, Charte canadienne des droits et libertés. Attendu que le Canada est fondé sur des principes qui reconnaissent la suprématie de Dieu et la primauté du droit. Est dicté comme annexe B de la loi de 1982 sur le Canada 1982, chapitre 11 du Royaume-Uni, entré en vigueur le 17 avril 1982, texte de la loi de 1982 sur le Canada à l'exception de l'annexe B. Annexe A. La loi donne ensuite à une demande du Sénat et de la Chambre des communes du Canada. Sa très excellente Majesté la Reine, considérant qu'à la demande et avec le consentement du Canada, le Parlement du Royaume-Uni est invité à adopter une loi visant à donner effet aux dispositions énoncées ci-après, et que le Sénat et la Chambre des communes du Canada réunis en Parlement ont présenté une adresse demandant à sa très gracieuse Majesté de bien vouloir faire déposer devant le Parlement du Royaume-Uni un projet de loi à cette fin, sur l'avis et du consentement des lords spirituels et temporels et des communes réunies en Parlement et par l'autorité de celui-ci, édicte 1. La loi constitutionnelle 1982, énoncée à l'annexe B, est édictée pour le Canada et y a force de loi. Elle entre en vigueur conformément à ces dispositions. 2. Les lois adoptées par le Parlement du Royaume-Uni après l'entrée en vigueur de la loi constitutionnelle de 1982 ne font pas partie du droit du Canada. 3. La partie de la version française qui présente loi qui figure à l'annexe A à force de loi au Canada au même titre que la version anglaise correspondance. Et titre 4. Le titre abrégé de la présente loi est loin de 1982 sur le Canada.
So you said we accept the whole thing?
English.
Okay, Constitution Act 1982, footnote 80, Part 1. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Whereas Canada is founded upon the principles that recognize the supremacy of God and the rule of law.
Then you wrote.
Yeah, and then I have to read the enactment in number 80. Enactment as Schedule B to the Canada Act 1982, Chapter 11, UK, which came into force on April 17, 1982. The Canada Act 1982, other than Schedules A and B, thereto reads as follows. An act to give effect to a request by the Senate and House of Commons of Canada. Whereas Canada has requested and consented to the enactment of an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom to give effect to the provision hereinafter set forth, and the Senate and the House of Commons of Canada in Parliament assembled have submitted an address to His Majesty requesting that His Majesty may graciously be pleased to cause a bill to be laid before the Parliament of the United Kingdom for that purpose. Be it therefore enacted by the King's Most Excellency Majesty, by and with the advice and consent of the Lords, Spiritual and Temporal and Commons, in this present Parliament assembled, and by the authority of the same as follows. Number 1. The Constitutional Act of 1982 set out in Schedule B to this Act is hereby enacted for and shall have the force of law in Canada and shall come into force as provided in that Act. Number 2. No Act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom passed after the Constitutional Act 1982 comes into force shall extend to Canada as part of its law. Number 3. So far as it is not contained in Schedule B, the French version of this Act is set out in Schedule A to this Act and has the same authority in Canada as the English version thereof. Number 4. This Act may be cited as the Canada Act of 1982.
Alright, I request permission to speak. Alright, so the first request I have is that we get a dispense of reading the entire Charter of Rights and Freedom.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Delegates approve? Alright.
yes.
With the exception of anything contrary to 1867, I suggest that you vote it as one article.
Okay,
I agree.
I agree.
I concur.
Right. This article, the Charter of Right and Freedom, is currently invalid. It was written by the Quebec Bar Association and a like party, if not them, similar. It was written by a lawyer. It has no force of effect until this day. You understand that?
Yeah.
So with the exception of anything that is contrary to 1867, are you currently ready to vote on enabling the Charter of Right and Freedom of Canada as one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though we know it's not that, well,
It'll become valid in 16 days from now.
So what?
yes,
Are you ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
and as long as we recognize the actual 52, 32, and 2. Well,
In the name of the King, I am authorized to speak.
yeah.
So, King Denis Ier is happy to offer you this social contract as a whole, with the amendment that needs to be done and that you've decided for on the reserve of every article that you spoke about today. As soon as those articles are revised and reviewed and remade, or whatever disposition that needs to be changed, you will also be offered a position for your respective province as Lieutenant Governor, so this comes as a whole. If you're ready to make a handshake or verbal agreement, raise your hand as representative of your province. Thank you very much. We have consensus. So I am happy to welcome you to the country called Canada, and I thank you very much on behalf of my name, a free human born on this territory, under the name of everybody. You have now formed the country called Canada, which is going to come in effect in 16 days from now. July the 1st, 2019 is the official date of birth of this country. It has been waiting 88 years for an act of union, which was done yesterday. The country will become alive in 16 days. Welcome to all of you to the country that you formed. You are now considered the founding people of this country. Your name may not go down in history, but you're very important. There's going to be some review that should be done about that. I admit to that. It shall be done within the next 16 days, because the foundation will need its constitution and its people. And if you accept, you are now officially Lieutenant Governor of your respective province. That also is valid for the people who are not here today, because the absentees are always wrong, so they followed your lead and leadership. Some people will be accepted with reserve. Most of you will be replaced within your lifetime. Right now we need you to take this position because there's nobody else anyway, but feel free to find a replacement for all of your position, and the next time the crown will come available again, which will be 5 years starting July 1st, it will be under the sole discretion of the SRPC without any written trace, but it will be put to a public draw, so we now have 5 years to make this happen as per constitution, and to give away the crown to the next person. Denis will not pass it down through his children. That is already written in stone by the SRPC decision. Since I'm speaking on his behalf, I'm getting to decide right now. It will be a public draw for both the position of King and Lieutenant Governor. Eventually, it will also be be done for Lieutenant Governor position, because these are nominations, it's not election, so we are unable to do that. So you are now, if you accept, official member of the SRPC, you are able to speak in the name of the country and of the King. When it regards to the internal affair of Canada, you're not allowed to go on the international stage and speak about Canada. Your duty is toward the people, and you will now be invited to take part in the picture and swear your oath of allegiance to the King, if you wish so. So we'll start with the picture. This is the public contract that you've been offered, that you've accepted on the reserve. So please, we're going to grab a picture of all of you. Bon, ok, ouais, c'est un peu plus compliqué. En gros, on vous offre le pays, et puis si vous l'acceptez, vous acceptez probablement aussi la position de la Constitution telle qu'elle est en ce moment, avec une révision dans les 16 prochains jours pour les articles pour lesquels vous avez décidé. Et puis ensuite, vous avez aussi offert une position de lieutenant-gouverneur à vie, mais vous êtes libre de démissionner. Et puis, on va essayer de vous trouver des remplacements le plus rapidement possible si vous démissionnez. Vous représentez maintenant le Canada à l'interne. Vous n'avez aucune autorisation de représenter le Canada à l'externe. Ce sont les diplomates qui font ça. Et par contre, c'est ça en mon nom, au nom de tous les citoyens et du Canada qui a attendu 88 ans qu'un tel événement se produise. Vous êtes maintenant les personnes qui ont fondé le Canada et je vous en remercie profondément.
Merci.
Ah, vous êtes invité à prendre une photo. Donc la photo. Those people who can stand up will stand up. Those who cannot stand up will sit on the couch. And some people may want to sit on the floor, like Denis. We're going to take it there and we're going to pull the curtain. Denis, il faut que tu t'assoies à terre, j'ai pensé.
Oui, mon oui.
On va t'asseoir à terre facilement dans le milieu de tout le monde. Ouais. So we're going to pull the table back. People like Loretta and Bill will sit on the couch.
This is crazy. Crazy.
You're making everybody sign on this one?
No, mine.
It's yours? Maybe that's a very good idea. We're going to sign.
I'm not going to trip nobody.
I was an official.
I just, everybody here, I would like to.
But that's an awesome idea. Where's Angel?
Huh?
We're going to sign this one too.
Alright, can I take pictures of
Please
you
sign
signing?
this one as
That's
well.
forbidden snake. Huh, but you guys happy? You just went over.
Alright, so are you comfortable standing up for a few moments? Alright, Maureen can stand up. Carl, you're going to take a picture?
Yeah.
We may need you
I'll take a few to make sure I get
when
the best
we're
one.
not sure yet, because we have more signs than people. Alright, so can anybody help Bill for just a short moment? We're going to push back the table, pull this one and pull that one, close the curtain and take the picture there. Alright, so you are invited to sign both constitutions.
You do it, Carl. Sign this myself.
Well, I am. The information ground is the jury.
Loretta, I'm moving the couch.
That's my stupid,
This one goes here anyway, so.
Such a nice couch. Green velvet.
Paul, you have your strong hand.
Maybe we should get everybody
Move the chair.
This chair?
Yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. Move the chair.
Move the chair.
Yeah, get it on the way.
Right here. That's going to be dark.
Ah ouais, mais sinon t'as la lumière en arrière de nous autres. Angèle, ils vont signer votre constitution.
Ah, la mienne, ok.
La vôtre puis celle à Loretta, c'est une bonne idée.
We like these long signs with the, it's just personal. Got that?
I already got it.
sign.
Yeah, but I
But you
didn't
can have a seat here and Bill as well.
get the big smile.
Okay, this one too, or?
Yeah, that's just a souvenir, but you like to sign it.
Should have brought mine.
Oops, sorry. Do you feel any better, Loretta?
It's coming down.
Knock on heaven's door.
Alright, when I call your place of residence, you'll be invited. If Bill could please just move there.
I'll get out of the way.
Maybe we should be moving that one, Paul, after Bill is moved and put it there. Cause
This
Carl,
one here?
yeah, Carl, cause Denis gonna sit in front of everybody, or Denis,
Denis,
he needs to be in the middle
push
anyway.
this back?
Yeah, push everything back, please. Yeah. Saskatchewan.
More?
Alberta.
Alberta.
You can stand at the back if you wish, since you can't stand up. Manitoba. Back, and, try to put it in order as much as possible.
Sorry.
So you can stay in British Columbia. I'll keep it for myself, so save me a spot on this side, please. I'd like to hold on to this one. Quebec, who wants to represent Quebec? I guess Carl would be the best one to be on the picture.
Wow.
What are you doing? Wait until everybody's there. So Wayne can grab the picture. So you're representing Quebec, my because you've been shouting it out loud on Facebook anyway, so give your camera. And you need to stand on this side here, because Paul, you're going to be Ontario right there. Ontario,
Huh? What you do? No, please.
Denis, get your ass in the middle.
I should go like
You
this.
don't look too happy.
You've got a
You don't
spot
look
there.
too happy.
I go with the king because I'm the shortest one. I'm the
Ça va là?
second shortest one. C'est moi le deuxième plus court avant toi. I'm the second shortest one.
So Denis is going to move briefly to...
Okay, yes,
Okay,
New Brunswick.
and take a few, don't be sure. That way just a little bit. Okay, you're gonna hold two sides.
Jeff's gonna be there.
You gotta get a little closer, my friend.
Yes.
Over to George Powell.
We need someone to hold for territories. Angèle, vous n'en avez pas de toute façon. Newfoundland and Labrador, we need someone to hold Newfoundland and Labrador. Bill, would you like to be part of this? Or
It's just the whole flower
Just to
side.
hold it.
Pictures of it.
there's two more people that we
That's
need.
your family.
Can you get in behind British Columbia and get closer to
Scotia or Prince Edward Island?
Jeff is
Bill
coming
whole
in.
Prince Island?
Angèle, pensez-vous que vous pouvez vous asseoir à temps?
Oh,
Tammy, can we have one of your kids?
Bill,
Marika?
see, other here.
Please, for a picture. Oh, Prince Edward Island. No, we don't need anyone. We're good. Sorry, I'm sorry. And you take a spot. So we're pretty much in order. Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, Labrador. Can you get everybody?
Yeah, I got everybody right now.
All right.
Is this one more over here? Maybe if I sat on a chair here.
Scotia, can you do a Scotia?
Or sit on the arm of the
Yeah,
chair?
somewhere. Yeah, you can sit
Sit
on
on the
the
arm of the chair?
There you go.
Better off in the chair, eh?
Angèle, move it just a bit to the right. Not yourself, but the sign.
I'm having a, oh,
Faites des grimaces à la caméra.
Maybe go behind the
I can't go back any further. This
Back,
is-
back.
how about this one?
Can you maybe stand
Like
in the
I've
chair?
got everybody there except for Paul and this lady here.
Okay,
and,
squeeze.
Me?
Squeeze.
No, the gentleman from Quebec, from New Brunswick.
Nova Scotia.
Oui, qui est encore trop petit.
Régent is hiding his face. Randy.
Tell him to put his
Oh shit.
Oh shit, you know.
No, I turned it off. How did I turn it
Flash.
off?
There's a slide button on top. Just touch it. There's a slide button. Just a little slider.